Well, we're the only ones in the world that make products that are all-terrain personal mobility products that simulate the actions of the human leg and foot. And we have a skid-resistant sole on our products that can be used on all terrains except ice. That enables the users to have more freedom than they can have on any other cane or mobility or personal mobility device. We make a product called strutters, which perform the functions of crutches, but they are totally different than crutches in that they will support all of the user's weight under their arms without hurting the nerves. And as such, we have tremendous experience with the fact that, number one, our clinical trials showed that going 50 feet with our strutters versus going 50 feet with crutches, our strutters required 25% less energy because they're spring-loaded. And we have in our booth a letter that was sent to the MS Society from a young man who has multiple sclerosis, who uses strutters, who used them for a 5K walk. And because when you use the strutters, you place your spinal column under tension because you're hanging by your axillary side without hurting your nerves. It puts tension on the spinal column, and because of that, it straightened out his scoliosis to the point where he doesn't need to use braces anymore. So that was an incredible secondary benefit. The strutters, just like any of our other products, can be used on all terrains, and it's just a very exciting new field, totally in mobility.
Where'd you get this idea?
Well, several years ago, I broke my ankle and had to go to Disney World with my children, and I thought, well, I'm young and strong and I'll get some crutches and I'll, no problem. And we got there and it was just horrible trying to use crutches without putting weight under my arms. My arms weren't strong enough and I just couldn't handle them. And so my two boys wound up pushing me around in a wheelchair, and I came back to Washington. I'd invented other things, and I spent about 12 years on the President's Committee for the Disabled. So I, knew about disabilities, and I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't invent anything else until I came up with something that would replace the crutches. So the strutter was really the first product. It's a parallelogram. It goes under the arms, but it truly can support all of your weight. We have paraplegics that weigh 400 pounds that put all their weight under their arms, and it doesn't hurt the nerves. Therein is a very interesting point, and that is that the medical community is taught right from the very beginning of their training that you can't put weight under your arms without hurting your nerves. The fact that we did that was so radically different that it's taken a lot of effort to convince Medicare and the FDA. The FDA recognized it right away, but to get physical therapists and others to realize that this is totally different than a crutch. That's why we call them strutters, And it's just terribly gratifying. Every day we get testimonials, people call in and just, rave about how, their life has been changed because of what we did. So it's been very gratifying, and we hope that we can help a lot more people. We're just a tiny little company.
Why did you guys nominate yourself? Yeah, someone nominated you, or you nominated yourself?
The MS Society asked us to apply. I guess they invited us, and so we went ahead.
And if you are to win tonight, what does that validate, or how does that validate your product?
Well, if we were to win tonight, it would be extraordinary because we're up against giants in the field. Although we're the only ones in the mobility field that make personal equipment that are in the finals, when you're up against people like Toyota, it's a tough hack. They make a new van, and there are two other companies there that make vans. But if we win tonight, it would be a validation, a tremendous validation of my years of effort that that's paid off. And It would be just extraordinary. Can I continue?
Yeah, or, I mean, we're good. I've gotten what I need.
Well,
Do you have, hey guys, we're getting a little bit of your audio here, so. Thanks.
well, I'll mention this. You can edit it out. But there were two great thinkers and inventors that were born and lived in Italy in the 1500s. One was Leonardo da Vinci, who the award is named after. Leonardo da Vinci was an optimist, and he believed in people being happy and getting on with their lives and using new things that he was inventing and painting and so on. The other great man who was misunderstood said that to change things was very difficult, that to change the order of things would be very difficult because the people that are used to doing it don't want to change. And his name was Niccolo Machiavelli. And they lived at the same time in Italy. And he is so right, because one of the biggest problems we had in getting this product launched was to prove that it was different than anything else. Your Surefoot and SureStep canes will produce the correct walking gait and save energy. The strutters, of course, are unique and yet to try to prove that they just weren't a crutch was a daunting task for a tiny little firm. We were finally able to do it. We had a champion. His name was Senator Max Cleland, and he went to bat for us.
When I first saw your video and I looked, and it's like, duh, it's such a simple idea.
Yeah. And you asked me, what would it say if we won? And I think the most important thing it would say is that a small company with a simple idea can change people's lives. And that's what we hope to do and what we think we've done with a number of people.